Hey guys, Mallory back. Today we're going to in this video we're going to talk about the specific case study. What we're going to talk about is the THERAC 25, which had some software issues. It was a radiation therapy machine produced by the Atomic Energy of Canada Limited, also known as the AECL, after the THERAC 6 and the THERAC 20 units. It was involved in at least 6 accidents between 1985 and 1987 where patients were given massive overdoses of radiation, approximately 100 times the intended dose. These accidents highlighted the dangers of software control of safety critical systems, and they have become a standard case study in health informatics and software engineering, which is really important so we look at this case study and be able to analyze it for our ITGS exam. The commission concluded that the primary reason that should be attributed was to the bad software design and the development practices, and not explicitly to the coding errors that were found. So in this particular instance, it was software that was seen as the main culprit. In particular, the software was designed so that it was realistically impossible to test in a clean and automated way. This video is going to show you a little bit about how the THERAC 25 worked and why it actually failed.
So now we're going to look at kind of an extreme example of timing-dependent input being difficult to deal with. So in the 1980s, there was a machine called a THERAC 25. And what the THERAC 25 was a radiation therapy machine. And it was used to deliver a highly concentrated beam of radiation to a part of a human body where that beam can be used to destroy cancerous tissue without harming tissue that's nearby. And as you can see, this is not obviously an inherently safe technology. It's going to depend on skilled operators and also highly safe software in order to safely dose patients at the cancer site without harming the patients. So what happened with the THERAC 25 was a tragic series of mistakes where 6 people were subjected to massive radiation overdoses, and several of these people died. And I'll make sure to include a link about these occurrences in the supplementary material for this course. And if you actually take a look at it, you'll find that it's really quite terrifying reading. It's really a very scary series of accidents. The THERAC 25 had a number of serious issues with its software, and we're just going to talk about one of them here. So the THERAC 25 was a largely software-controlled device, and it had, at the time, a fairly sophisticated controller, and it turned out that the people developing the software put a number of bugs into it. The particular bug that I'm talking about here was a software bug called a race condition. And what a race condition is a scenario where different threads of execution fail to be properly synchronized, with the result being that the software containing the race condition can actually make mistakes. So this particular race condition in the THERAC 25 software involved the keyboard input to the radiation therapy machine, which is what the person operating the machine used to tell the machine how to treat the patient. And what happened was, if the operator of the machine typed slowly, the bug was very unlikely to be triggered. And of course, while the machine was being tested, the people testing the machine weren't very good at using it. They hadn't used it a lot, and so they didn't type very fast. But unfortunately, as operators in hospitals became more and more familiar with this machine, as they treated hundreds and hundreds of patients, what happened was these people got very good at operating the machine, they typed faster and faster, and eventually they started triggering this bug. And the effect of this bug, unfortunately, was to deliver massive radiation overdoses to patients, and as I said, this led to several fatalities. And so the kind of quandary that this scenario raises for us as software testers is, do we have to care about the time at which inputs arrive at our software under test, or can we not worry about that? And so obviously for the THERAC 25, and obviously also for something like a Linux kernel, the time at which inputs arrive is relevant. On the other hand, unless we've been extremely sloppy, the square root function that we've been talking about won't care about the time at which its inputs arrive.
So this just shows a good way that software testing was used in this case study. He does a good job of explaining how the particular bug got into the system that affected the software reliability and increased the massive amounts of overdoses to the patients. So next we're going to talk about what the commission. The main causes of the failure were seen to be bad software design and ended up causing death. Researchers who investigated the accident found several contributing causes. These included the following causes. The AECL did not have the software code independently reviewed. The AECL did not consider the design of the software during its assessment of how much machine might produce and the desired results of the techniques known. The system noticed that something was wrong and halted the X-ray beam, but merely displayed a malfunction followed by a number from 1 to 64. The user manual did not explain or even address the error code, so the operator passed by and pressed the P key to override the warning and proceed anyway. The AECL personnel, as well as the machine operators, initially did not believe complaints. This was likely due to overconfidence. The AECL had never tested the THERAC 25 with the combination of software and hardware until it was assembled at the hospital. So the last bullet is really important to see, that the AECL did not combine the hardware and the software until it was actually assembled at the hospital, where after this long process was occurring, then you know that they wouldn't want to realize that there was a failure or a flaw in the system and go back after they had worked so hard. So it's just really bad to see that they didn't test this before actually assembling it to be used for the patients. These are the actual statistics of the different accidents from June 1985 to January 1987, and the months after each accident. The locations of the accidents were pretty widespread, and the extent of the injuries to the patients resulted from spanning from breast removal, loss of an arm, to death. So in conclusion, many factors contributed to the cause of the AECL. In the end, even the federal government contributed to the share of the THERAC 25 accidents. Even though they didn't have a lot of previous knowledge to it, they knew that they should have had more testing done and been more stringent with policies and laws to prevent this software reliability issue and this horrible occurrence that happened. Videos by Mallory.